So he's been on about 10 hours. Threw it on 12 o'clock last night, and she's smoking away like a beast. Holding steady at 250 the whole time, very little fluctuation. This thing's absolutely amazing. I mean, I can't believe how much smoke production and how rock solid it is this whole time. Let's go ahead and get a look at these bad boys and see. So they got a nice color. They're looking really good. I'm assuming they're probably in the 180 degree range and getting pretty close, probably a few more hours left. But I mean, they just sit there on top of each other, basting and dripping all over each other. Yeah, see, yeah, 186. So getting right there where we want. And I haven't done anything, just let these go on their own. No messing, no spritzing, no fuss, nothing. Just let it do its thing. So let's get it shut back up and let them start cooking and check on them in a couple hours. Like I said, temperature dropped down a little bit because I had the door open, but it's been holding at 250 the whole time. Mode 2, so I'm on the non-PID mode just to try to get some extra smoke and see what that does for me. And one thing I didn't get to mention last night because it was late and dark is the pellets I'm using on this cook. I'm using some pellets from a newer company named knottywoodbbq, and they've been absolutely phenomenal. I've used them over a dozen times and I really like the flavor. It's very strong. It has a kind of a nutty, musky flavor, but it's really good. And one thing I really like about this company is they support the veterans. So some of the proceeds that you purchase go to the veterans, and to me that's a huge thing. I mean, that's beautiful. So these have been fantastic. They really have. No fillers, just 100% almond wood, no bark removed, so you really get a lot of flavor, and I can't complain at all. So if you guys ever get a chance, definitely check out this company, Knottywood. They've been giving promotions away all the time. You get little $10 bags, usually I think free shipping. You know, just depending where you're at. They're more of a California-based company in the Central Valley area around there, where there's a bunch of almond orchards. But they've definitely became one of my favorite pellets, and I've been using them more and more and more. And every cut of meat's been great. So definitely check them out, guys. You'll like them. And she's still firing away. I mean, just smoking like a champ. I mean, I'm excited, man, to just really taste the flavor on this. I mean, look at how much she's just pouring out, smoking out in my neighborhood. All my neighbors are talking about how it smells so good. And let's take a look at these bad boys. I mean, yeah, they're definitely taking a little smoke bath. So we'll get her shut up so we don't lose too much. But I do like how I can keep the door cracked. You know, I could now spritz or check a temperature real quick without losing a lot of heat. So that's definitely a cool feature that I'm going to be using a lot. All right, guys, we're back. It's been about 12 hours. So these are probably pretty much done. We're going to go and check the temperature on them and make sure they're good. But this has been no fuss. Nothing, just haven't really opened it but the couple of times I've showed you on video. So I'm just keeping it simple, easy going, no fuss, no spritzing, no nothing. I just really want to test out this smoker, and I really want to try the sucklebuster rub because I tasted some and it tasted phenomenal on my fingers. So I'm really curious, but let's see what she looks like. Oh yeah, look at that bark. I mean, oh yeah, it's beautiful. Great formation. Let's move you a little closer and look at that. I mean, they're just, you can see they're falling apart. I mean, I could just tell right now they're there, but let's probe it. Oh, reading pretty close, like at 200, 203. I'm mainly going off of fill. I'm not really caring about the temperature right now. I'm going off of the resistance. Right here, you don't want a lot of resistance. You just want it to go in and out nice and smooth. You know, you want a little resistant, but you know, they're there. They're definitely there. But let me give you a little example of kind of what you're looking for. So it should go in nice and smooth, real easy. But when you pull out, there should be a little bit of resistance. See how the meat's kind of pulling out a little bit right when I'm pulling? That's what you want. You don't want it completely melt the butter because then it's way too tender. That right there is perfect. It'll pull apart, put a nice rest, and it'll be great. Let me grab this camera and get you guys a little bit closer. But I mean, yeah, beautiful color. Not too thick of a bark, just that perfect mahogany color. So I gotta pull these bad boys off. I had to bring in some tools to see if I could do this. Guess that's one bad thing about using these type of grooves. It's not easy to get them out. So let's see if I can free it loose with the grill grade tool. I mean, this thing is just falling. And they're so heavy. This is like that 12-pounder one. Look at it, it's just, I mean, it's just absolutely done. Good thing I'm a pizza cook. There we go. All right, let's get this off. She's heavy. Heavy and big. Oh yeah, that's perfect. Not too dark. Still got a nice little crispy bark right here. Oh yeah. Oh, that sucklebusters. Hog waller is amazing. All right, let me get this wrapped up before these flies start going crazy over the meat. I'm gonna leave my probe in because I wanna know when it gets to about 160 degrees. And this thing's freaking piping hot. And just crimp up the sides like this, get it nice and tight. And it creates a little reservoir, so when it's resting, if there's juices coming out, it'll all catch it like a little pan. So that one's good. Go ahead and throw it in the cooler. Oh, gotta rewrap it, I got a hole in that one. You know what? Instead of going to waste, let's just double wrap it. I plan on resting these for a while, probably about 3 or 4 hours. Get it nice and tight up. There we go. And I'm gonna put this in a dry cooler. All right, let's see if this one cooperates more. A little bit, still a little sticky. Oh yeah, I mean, look at that. That beautiful bark. I mean, that is perfect stuff. And you know what? These little pizza peels work amazing. Look at that. All right, here's the other one. I mean, yeah, that is just beautiful bark. I'm really loving that sucklebusters rub. I've tried their beef rub and this one, and I mean, everything's just been phenomenal. It really has. That 1836 is amazing rub. That is probably one of the best ones I've tried so far. That is really, really good on briskets and all those type of good beefs. But this one right here, It's good. I tried some. It's sweet, but not overpowering. Just a really good balance. And sorry guys if there's some background noise. Where I live right now, it's hot. It's in the triple digits, so all my neighbors and everybody, you know, got all these air conditioners running, so it makes a lot of background noise. But we'll work through it. And I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this one up the same way. Fold it up. Create that little reservoir. Keep pinching it, get it nice and sealed and tight. And you gotta be careful though, because there are bones in here and it will punctuate it. So good. You know what? I'm gonna double wrap it. It's always a good idea to double wrap. We'll start at the bottom. Just for a little reinforcement. All right, there we go. Let's put this one in the cooler. All right, put it right next to the other one. Let these bad boys rest. I'll probably throw a towel in there or an old blanket or something just to kind of fill up the airspace to keep it insulated more. But like I said, it's hot over here, so here sitting out in the sun, I mean it's gonna stay warm. I think it's going to be 102, 103 today, so it's definitely up there. Let me go ahead and shut down this beast right here, and we'll have a little talk. We'll be right back. All right, guys, let's have a little talk. So this cook was all done at 250 degrees. I got these pork butts on sale. They're $1.50 a pound. From a local store called Sprouts, which is basically a health food store. It has very high quality meats, usually at a premium price, but like I said, they were on sale. So I picked me up a 12 pounder and then the other one was 11 pounds. My neighbor wanted to try some pork, so I figured why not go big on the first cook on my new OG Grilla. I do have another product of theirs I bought, the Chimp, because I like the tailgating aspect. Before that, I had the Green Mountain Davy Crockett, and that one is real lightweight, but it was too small and it was cheap made. You know, the grill grates just weren't thick enough, and I battled temperatures all the time on that thing, from the left to right. I mean, that thing would run 120 degrees hotter. So I ended up selling that to my brother, and then I just got some money and got the Chimp, and I love that thing. But it became the point where I'm using it as my main cooker, so I wasn't, out of my laziness, using it as tailgating, because I just keep it in the backyard. So I figured, you know what, why not just upgrade, get me a bigger grill. There's, you know, times where I want the extra real estate and keep the Chimp for what it needs to be, the tailgating. So that's what we're going for. And first cook with this thing, I mean, it is an absolute beast. I can't believe how tight of a temperature it held. I mean, not one headache. I ran it all night, I slept good. I hooked up the meter thermometer just in case there was any problems. You know, it alerted me if the flame went out. I had it set for 180 degrees to let me know, or if it went over 350 to let me know, just in case there was a grease fire or anything. Nothing, slept great. And woke up, checked on it, and that was probably about 10 hours in, probed it like I showed you in the video, and then didn't do anything 12 hours in. And I mean, you guys seen it, this absolutely phenomenal color, phenomenal pull apart. I mean, it's as tender as it'll get, you know, maybe a little too tender. Had a hard time getting off those rails. And one thing, you know, you guys probably noticed is I use the grill grates. I came across this a while ago, actually. I don't use it for any kind of browning or anything like that. I found that the drippings hit that rails and they vaporize back up and they infuse a lot more flavor in the meat. and I get a more tender, juicier product, I actually gave up on wrapping. I don't really wrap anything anymore. I try not to, whether it's brisket, ribs, or chuck roast, anything. I don't try to wrap anymore, and I've just been having phenomenal results out of that. So maybe that's something you guys want to try out. If you have them, give it a go, because it's worked great. I mean, you could see it, how juicy and everything was on those, and I didn't have no problems with it. So that's another thing I like. The flavor, like I said, I was using these new pellets called knottywood. They've been amazing. I've used them over a dozen times, and I haven't had any problems. They're pretty clean, all natural, no additives, you know, none of those synthetic flavors and all that stuff like these other companies sometimes offer. You don't want that stuff. Yeah, you guys don't want that stuff. You want all those, you want real wood. And a lot of people I see, I'm pretty big on all the groups. I mean, I own a really big Facebook group with pellet cooking. But a lot of people always complain about not enough smoke flavor pellet grills. You know what? If you learn how to do it right, it's really not a problem. It really isn't. First of all, buy quality pellets. That's the main thing. That's probably the biggest thing. And I don't run ultra low temperatures. I've done the 180 degrees for 24 hours. I've done 200, 225. And you know, it all works. It's not for me. I don't got time to be sitting there doing 24-hour cooks all the time. That's not for me anymore. I like to get it done. So minimum is 250. Like on this one, I did 250 just to test it out. But personally, me, I like 275, 300, 325. I think that's where I get amazing results. I mean, absolutely amazing. Someone honking at me, huh? Absolutely amazing. And so what I'll do is I'll start it out maybe 250, and I usually go off internal temperature. When I get around maybe 140, I know that smoke ring is pretty developed at that point. Then that's when I go and I'll hit it up to 325, and it's always been amazing. But like I said, this one, I just wanted to let it be, let the grill go on its own. I wanted to see the smoke production out of 250. I want to test it out and taste it and see if it's something I like. But I think it's going to be pretty good. I had a couple Pitmaster Privilege little pieces in there, little pieces of the bark, and it's phenomenal. Great flavor. I mean, the smoke is there, everything. And this thing smokes like a beast. This thing smokes like a beast. I mean, the smokestack's on the very top, so it's just coming up, basting all in that meat. I mean, it's going right past that meat and going right to the top. I think this is a phenomenal design. I prefer this over the traditional barrel designs because, you know, sometimes that smoke just goes right past your meat, doesn't even go around it. It'll go out through the smokestack from, you know, usually they're on the right side, so the right side, the heat deflector right past it. This one has no choice. This one has to go to your meat, and it shows. I mean, it puts out some smoke, and the temperature, like I said, I mean, it's ridiculously dead even. I didn't even know I've never seen a grill run that tight. So I'll be curious to be testing that out in the future. I got a bunch of different thermometers, so I'll be hooking it up, and I'll be doing some comparison tests, and I'll show you guys what's going on. But just the attention to detail on this thing, it has the brake where it locks into place so it doesn't roll, and then as soon as you tilt it back to move it, it unlocks on its own, so you don't have to fidget with that thing. I have the upper rack extension, which gives me a full top rack. I mean, I can put a lot of meat on there, and it has the little Grilla emblem, and that emblem, you screw it on and the Grilla logo's facing you. I mean, just all these little details is amazing. It really is quality. The only complaint that, just for me personally, that I had a problem with was the hopper. It's a little small on top for me, and I don't use small bags of pellets. I use at least the 40 pounds, and unfortunately I have full ones, so, you know, I spilled a couple of them. Not a big deal. It was mainly my fault, but you know, that's something that I gotta be more careful on. But besides that, I can't find any faults in this thing so far.
And I really like that sight glass. That was kind of cool to see. Last night when I threw this on, I watched it for a little bit, just seeing those pellets, how it feeds in that box and into the auger, basically into the burn pot, and it was really cool. So, you know, we'll get a lot of cooks going on this thing, and I'll have a lot more product reviews and things like that, and keep you guys informed. All right, I'm coming in. All right, guys, welcome back. So this has been resting for about 4 or 5 hours. It's still pretty hot. Definitely. Just been in the cooler with some a blanket over the top. Let's get this opened up. See what we got. Get this probe out of here. Oh yeah, it smells absolutely phenomenal. See how tender it is. Look at that, clean. I mean, that bone is just freaking clean. Yeah. I mean, that's as tender and as good as it gets. So there we have it. I'm gonna get this inside. Gonna eat it before all these flies start going crazy. But I mean, you can see, that's absolutely phenomenal. Very juicy and tender. So this is success. Well, thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to follow me, like, subscribe. I'll see you guys on the next cook.